Today, I want to talk about what you can do when you go live to engage your audience. What are the most engaging things that you can do on your live stream so that you get people not only to tune in, but to actually stay with you and engage with you and have a conversation with you all the way until the end of your video. I've created a basic process. I call it the live stream formula. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through each of the steps so that you can have the most engaging live streams that you've ever made. The very first thing you want to do to get your audience engaged with you is you want to grab their attention. You probably have about 10 seconds or less to grab their attention, to gain their interest, to stop them scrolling on their phone long enough to say, oh, what's going on here? I need to pay attention to this. So what you do right at the start is you want to show something. Maybe you hold up a sign with some words on it, or maybe you put up a title on your video. Maybe there's some kind of movement that you can be doing. Maybe you can be standing in front of a beautiful car. Maybe you can be at a fancy restaurant. Maybe you can be in a particular location that people are sort of cued into. Oh, what is this? What's going on here? So you just want to do one thing at the start to grab their attention. And then immediately you want to tell them why they're here and why does it matter. And introduce yourself, introduce yourself and what you're going to talk about. Step number 2 is now you want to make a promise. You want to promise to solve a problem. So your video is going to be about how to cure this particular headache. Or if you're people like this and you have this kind of problem, I'm going to show you the 3 ways to solve this problem. Or I'm going to show you the 5 mistakes to avoid this kind of headache. And now they're going, oh, okay, there's a process here. Now I know where we're going. I can see the steps laid out in front of me. And this makes it much more likely that people are going to want to follow along. Plus, if there are steps in your process, they're going to know where they are in the journey as you go along. Right after your promise, now you want to give a call to action. You basically have told them why they're here, and now you want to tell them what to do next. And you want to actually be thinking about this every time you're thinking about making any kind of video, which is answering the question, what do you want people to do after they finish watching your video? If you wait until the very end of your video to give your call to action, to give people the thing you want them to do next, a lot of them may not be there. They may not actually wait until the end. They may well be gone and have left your video way before the end. So near the beginning, right, basically within the first 2 minutes of your video, you want to give them a soft call to action, which is telling them what they can do next. So for instance, in this video, my call to action is I have actually made a video training and a PDF printout of this process. My live stream formula is printed out, and it's basically an infographic that shows you the cool winding route, the steps that you need to take, and all the little notes all on one sheet of paper. And you can actually print this out and hold it up in front of you or behind the camera, next to the camera when you're making a live video, and you can follow this template every time you go live. And it makes it really easy to go through these steps when you're live so you never forget one of these key points of how to engage your audience. It's a really useful tool and it's free. So you can get this just by saying in the comments, hey, I want the formula. Or just write the word formula and I'll respond to you and I'll get back to you and make sure that you can get it. This is the kind of thing that you can do in your videos. You can provide something for free, which is content that goes a little bit deeper, that has a little bit more information. And you can say, look, when this video is over, you can go and get my free thing. And if you want the free thing, just say free thing in the comments. And the thing about all this commenting is that the more it happens, the more the algorithm on the websites like YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn, if you're going live to these platforms, This is where the algorithm will kick in and you'll start getting rewarded by them, because the more that the platforms are seeing that you have this kind of engagement, they're starting to measure it and go, wow, there's all kinds of commenting going on. This content must be valuable. It must be really relevant to this group of people. So we're going to show it to more and more people. And speaking of going live on several platforms, I just want to acknowledge that this video is sponsored by Restream. And Restream is a great, great tool that lets you go live and do your live stream to multiple platforms at the same time. So every time I'm going live onto YouTube, and I'm going live onto Facebook, and I'm going live onto Twitter, and I'm going live onto LinkedIn, and I'm doing that all at the same time. And what's so great about that is that I'm hitting all of my audiences in the place that is their preference for where they like to hang out. If you're interested in using Restream, I've got a link down below. You can get a free account or a paid account. And if you get a paid account, using this link will give you a discount. So go and check it out. Highly recommend it. It's a great, great tool. After your call to action, now you will solve the problem. Whatever thing that you held up as the topic, whatever journey that you're going to go on, whatever quest that you've laid out for your audience, now you take that journey and you take them along. And so you go through your 3 main points of your topic. All the way through, you want to be continuing to solicit comments from people. You're on topic number 1 and you basically say things like, well, if you've ever had this kind of a headache, go ahead and write this kind of headache in the comments. And you're getting people to, write simple, easy responses to you that basically are identifying them as people who either do have this kind of problem or they did make this kind of mistake. And now you know more about them. You know more about the kinds of things that they're dealing with. You'll know whether most people have one kind of an issue over another. And it's a really good way to basically survey your audience live in real time. After you've solved your problem and you've gone through your main content, now you want to ask people to share this. You say, hey, if you've gotten value from this video, if you found that these tips were helpful to you and you know someone in your network, one of your friends who may be having these same kinds of problems, go ahead and share this video and tag them. Your audience members, if they're getting value, they'll be happy to go out and tell more people about it and bring them along. And when you've got people in your audience who like the content that you're doing so much that they start bringing their friends, this is when you really win the game. So this is a key one to be remembering and including in your live streams. After the share, you want to do your second call to action. You invite them to take the next step by telling them very clearly what is going to happen, where they're going to go. They're much more likely to do it. After your last call to action, now you want to do one more thing. You want to give a final cap off to your video. You basically give your takeaway or your insight or some words of wisdom that people will literally walk away with. And if there's one thing you want them to remember about watching this video, this is where you want to say it. So that when they're done, this is the thing that they're going to remember. And it could be anything you want. Just make sure you have an insight that they don't have. You have a takeaway because you've been doing this work for a long time and you have a certain amount of experience and you want to bring that experience to this final moment and say, here's my main takeaway. Here's the most important thing that I want to share about what we're talking about today. And then lay that out. Just in one quick line, say, this is my main message for you. If you could do anything at all, it would be this. And this makes the whole experience feel much more meaningful, and people will remember your content much, much better if you make this one big main emphasis. And they'll be feeling grateful that you have given them this particular gift. This is the entire formula for making engaging video. And if you would like my live stream formula as a printout that you can hold up in front of your camera and follow it step by step. All these steps that I just went through, you can just get this for free. In the comments down below, say formula, or say I want the formula, or say live stream formula. Any of those things will work, and I will drop a link where you can go and get that. It's free, it's easy, and thanks so much for watching the video.